Jonathan Swift, an Anglo-Irish poet, satirist, essayist, and political pamphleteer, was born in Dublin, Ireland. He spent much of his childhood in England before returning to Dublin to serve as Dean of St. Patrick's Cathedral for the next 30 years. His notable writings, such as Gulliver's Travels, A Tale of a Tub, and A Modest Proposal, have been generally hailed as some of the best satirical works ever written. The typical kind of satire associated to his writings has been dubbed Swiftian, and it has had a large effect on present and future writers. Here is a collection of the top Jonathan Swift quotes that are regarded literary pearls.
The use of speech was to make us understand one another, and to receive information of facts. We have just enough religion to make us hate, but not enough to make us love one another. One enemy can do more hurt than 10 friends can do good. A wife should be always a reasonable and agreeable companion, because she cannot always be young. I have ever hated all nations, professions, and communities, and all my love is toward individuals. There are few, very few, that will own themselves in a mistake. The different nations of the world had different customs. Some men, under the notion of weeding out prejudice, eradicate virtue, honesty, and religion. Undoubtedly, philosophers are in the right when they tell us that nothing is great or little otherwise than by comparison. Every man desires to live long, but no man would be old. Laws are best explained, interpreted, and applied by those whose interest and abilities lie in perverting, confounding, and eluding them. A man should never be ashamed to own that he has been in the wrong, which is but saying that he is wiser today than yesterday. This made me reflect how vain an attempt it is for a man to endeavor to do himself honor among those who are out of all degree of equality or comparison with him. As love without esteem is capricious and volatile, esteem without love is languid and cold. Punning is a talent which no man affects to despise, but he that is without it. Falsehood flies, and truth comes limping after it, so that when men come to be undeceived, it is too late. The worthiest people are the most injured by slander, as is the best fruit which the birds have been pecking at. I will no more believe than that the accidental jumbling of the alphabet would fall into a most ingenious treatise of philosophy. The stoical scheme of supplying our wants by lopping off our desires is like cutting off our feet when we want shoes. These reasonings will furnish us with an adequate definition of a true critic, that he is a discoverer and collector of writers' faults. Laws are like cobwebs, which may catch small flies, but let wasps and hornets break through. Satire is a sort of glass, wherein beholders do generally discover everybody's face but their own. Ingratitude is amongst them a capital crime, as we read it to have been in some other countries. I winked at my own littleness, as people do at their own faults. You have clearly proved that ignorance, idleness, and vice are the proper ingredients for qualifying a legislator. Happiness is the perpetual possession of being well deceived. Undoubtedly, philosophers are in the right when they tell us that nothing is great or little otherwise than by comparison. If a man makes me keep my distance, the comfort is, he keeps his at the same time. No person can disobey reason without giving up his claim to be a rational creature. Difference in opinions has cost many millions of lives. For instance, whether flesh be bread or bread be flesh, whether the juice of a certain berry be blood or wine. It is useless to attempt to reason a man out of a thing he was never reasoned into. I never wonder to see men wicked, but I often wonder to see them not ashamed. I'm as old as my tongue, and a little older than my teeth. The cottagers and laborers keep their children at home, their business being only to till and cultivate the earth, and therefore their education is of little consequence to the public. We have chosen to fill our hives with honey and wax, thus furnishing mankind with the two noblest of things, which are sweetness and light. Vision is the art of seeing what is invisible to others. We of this age have discovered a shorter and more prudent method to become scholars and wits without the fatigue of reading or of thinking. You should never be ashamed to admit you have been wrong. It only proves you are wiser today than yesterday. There is nothing constant in this world but inconsistency. Books, the children of the brain. There is no absolute success in the world, only constant progress. When a great genius appears in the world, you may know him by this sign, that the dunces are all in confederacy against him. No wise man ever wished to be younger. He had therefore begun to think it not unwise in us to cover our bodies, and by that invention conceal many of our deformities from each other, which would else be hardly supportable. That the universe was formed by a fortuitous concourse of atoms. Live every day as your last, because one of these days it will be. I cannot but conclude that the bulk of your natives, to be the most pernicious race of little odious vermin that nature ever suffered to crawl upon the surface of the earth. Vision is the art of seeing things invisible. Power is no blessing in itself, except when it is used to protect the innocent. Regard to good morals than to great abilities, for, since government is necessary to mankind, they believe that the common size of human understanding is fitted to some station or other. The latter part of a wise person's life is occupied with curing the follies, prejudices, and false opinions they contracted earlier. Fine words. I wonder where you stole them. Men are never so serious, thoughtful, and intent as when they are at stool. Words are the clothing of our thoughts. When people are met together, a short silence does much improve conversation. Honesty has no defense against superior cunning. Proper words in proper places make the true definition of style. Whoever makes ill returns to his benefactor must needs be a common enemy to the rest of the mankind, from where he has received no obligations, and therefore such man is not fit to live. In men desire begets love, and in women love begets desire. Care and vigilance, with a very common understanding, may preserve a man's goods from thieves. He called it his oracle, and said, it pointed out the time for every action of his life. I have one word to say upon the subject of profound writers, who are grown very numerous of late.